Okay, hey Cancer, how you doing? So I have decided to do monthly tarot card readings for each of the zodiac sign. You should watch your sun sign and your rising sign. You can watch your moon sign as well if you want, but I think 3 tarot card readings is a lot of information to try and take in, but suit yourself. If there is no if, let's get started. So this is for Cancer for November in 2019. So the astrology at the moment is pretty heavy. It's, you know, in all truth and honesty, it's going to remain pretty heavy for the next few months. There's a conjunction coming in January of 2020 between Pluto and Saturn, which we're working up to it already, because conjunctions, the way they work, we're working up to it already, and it's going to even last for a couple of months after January. So things are just heavy at the moment. There's a lot of change going on. Change in reality and change in people's spiritual beliefs as well, which is always very difficult. It can feel isolating and it can feel hard to understand, at times. I feel like a head melted other times, you know what I mean? And then it can be lovely, it can be beautiful. I just want to take a moment. I've already cleansed my cards to say I'm kind of channeling mostly rose quartz energy today because I love it. And I feel like, rose quartz energy, it's not just about romantic love. Rose quartz is just a beautiful stone that is about all love. So it's unconditional love, and it's romantic love, and it's platonic love, and it's family love, and it's all the loves. And it's also just the universal love of our existence, you know what I mean? And it's a very soft energy, which is why I'm using it at the moment. I love this crystal. And look at the chunk of it. This is selenite. Selenite amplifies any energy that it is near, and also charges other crystals. So Cancer 2019, November. What are we looking at for the month ahead? Ooh. Okay, so we have 2 of Pentacles, and this card is a card of, there's a lot going on, but you're on top of it. There's a lot going on work-wise and private life-wise. You might be trying to move house and you might be having hassle at your job, and there could be a few different things going on. It might have been a very successful move and the hassle at your job might work out really well. But there's just a lot of things going on in the air at the moment, but you're managing to keep all the balls in the air. It just feels a bit like that card looks busy, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on. And not only is he keeping the balls in the air, but now he's walking towards these people to have a conversation with them. So he's going to keep the balls in the air while he's doing that as well, you know what I mean? So it's a busy time. I feel like busy is the wrong word though for that. There's just a lot going on. But you're coping. You feel on top of it. And you are on top of it. Maybe you feel like you need a holiday as well. You might be thinking of traveling overseas, taking a break. That's a great idea. You should do that. That's a great idea if you're thinking anything, or even just visiting the seaside, going to the beach, taking 2 days, taking 1 day, you know what I mean? If that's what you want to do it. Great. But the thing is, you're doing quite well. You are keeping things going, even though you're a bit what's going on? So that's the energy. That's the energy that's kind of surrounding you at the moment, Cancer. And then we have the 6 of Swords and 7 of Wands. So the 6 of Swords is a card of moving into calmer waters, moving from choppy waters into calmer waters. So things do feel busy, but you are well able. And I think you're beginning to realize that now. I think at one point, maybe around October, you were kind of oh my God, is this ever going to end? This is mad. Is it going to end? And there seems to be a bit of relief coming. I think you're kind of feeling the relief now, because that's how I feel, to be perfectly honest. So there's been a bit of a let up in the pressure, but also the pressure that you experienced recently. You know, you've learned plenty from, you've got your valuable lessons from it. And I think you can see where you don't need to repeat certain things again in the future. Like if you were to do something similar in the future, you can see where you wasted time this time around and you won't do it next time. You won't waste the time, you'll still go for it. And you'll, you know, successfully make things work in your favor. But this is the point of the Six of Swords. Lessons have been learned. Lessons are always fun. Lessons are never easy, you know, but they've been learned and you're moving on now. You're ready to move on and you are moving on. Like this is a card of moving into easier times. But it is important with the Six of Swords that you do take the lessons with you. Otherwise you're just going to have to repeat it, which we don't want. We do not want to be repeating cycles, and there are no repeating cycle cards here. So there's no, well, there's the potential to repeat a cycle with this card because he has the infinity sign. But there's no need to. Just learn your lessons. Like the point of, usually she's in the boat and she has her 6 swords in there, and the point is don't take the swords with you when you get out of the boat, when you've moved into calmer waters and it's, you know, the journey on the water ends and you're on the other side and you feel good. Don't take the swords with you. So do take the lessons, but don't take any bitterness with you either. You know what I mean? Life throws lessons at us because it does. That's the only explanation I have for it. I don't know why, but it does. And it does it kind of relentlessly at times. And this, at the moment, I don't know if I just said that, Pluto and Saturn, it's an intense time. So lessons are coming hard, they're coming fast. And they do seem relentless. And they feel relentless. But this, even though these cards, there's kind of a lot going on. This energy, you know, you guys are well able, man. Cancerians are well able anyway. You're tenacious. It's a good word for Cancerians. You know, you fight the good fight and you look after yourselves. But there is a tendency to hang on to things and to, you know, I'm going to remember that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm going to get you back for that. I like that kind of energy does nothing but hold you back. You know what I mean? When you move on in November to whatever it is you want to move on to, leave the crap behind, man. It's other people's crap anyway. Just leave it behind. It's irrelevant and it won't serve you. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is an interesting card. I like it personally, even though I know it looks a little bit chaotic. Like they're fighting. But the Seven of Wands is a card of standing your ground. And winning, really. Like, it is a card of standing your ground, saying no to other people's demands on your time and energy. Saying no to people moving in on your spot as well. Like, the thing is, he is defending his land, you know, and he's not even sure why people are coming to take his land, and he's not always 100% sure what he's fighting for, but he fights nonetheless because he knows he's in the right. And that energy of that card is right, you know what I mean? Like, the way you're keeping all the balls in the air, and the fact that you're successfully doing that, and the fact that you are moving on, and I don't think you feel as exhausted as you did maybe in the run-up to this energy, but like, you do still have to, we have to stay on it, you know what I mean? You have to keep fighting the fight. You have to know that people will always try and demand energy from us, and they'll always try and command our attention and command what they want from us. And the fact is, we have to learn how to say no. We have to know how to say no. And you have to be confident saying no. And sometimes if you're gonna, I think that's what it is actually, if you're afraid that you're gonna hurt someone's feelings, or if you're afraid that you're overstepping the mark a bit by saying no, you're not. You know what I mean? If you feel someone's taking advantage of you, it's probably because they are. It is because they are. And there's nothing wrong with you saying, actually, do you know what? I'm not okay with any of this. Forget it. And I think it's very possible for a lot of Cancerians out there that you are going to be taking a trip. a trip across water. And it could be to get away from this kind of energy, or whoever this person is that is saying, like, you know, no, you need to focus on me now. You're like, no, I don't. You need to focus on you. I need to focus on me. And on what I'm planning for the future, because there is a bit about that. There is a bit of that in this card. You know, what are you planning for the future? Where are you going? Okay, so interesting so far. You all might decide to take a little holiday. Life is good, you're keeping your balls in the air, and even though it doesn't always feel very calm, you know, I think you understand that maybe the worst is over, but the battle's not fully won yet. You know, there's always a bit more to be done. Interesting. So let's see. Okay, Tarot. So we know this. Where to go from here? Yeah, I think you're in the process of building something new. Like, there are plans afoot. You know what I mean? Yeah, and you're in the process of building something that you really want to build. You're in the process. Yeah. Which is also why you might be feeling slightly attacked, because there might be people saying to you, like, oh, you're mad, that's not going to work. And, you know, but the fact is you really want to do this. And if you keep on doing what you want, and if you keep following your own voice and your own process, and if you ignore these people and don't pay any attention to them and say no to their crap, you know, there's every chance you'll be successful. Say no to their crap, but again, don't get bitter about it. You know, don't dwell on the fact that these people, just move on without them. Like, the fact is you do have what it takes to build what you want right now, because the Two of Pentacles is a young energy, it's a youthful energy, so we can always build on top of that. You know what I mean? But it's a good energy. Like, he is working, you know? So I do think whatever it is the structure you're trying to build at the moment, maybe a bit more security for yourself, or maybe a new job, you know, and people are like, yeah, it's not going to work. Don't listen to other people. Like, the thing is, the reason I'm saying other people is because this is a busy reading. There's people in all of the cards. So I do think you're feeling outside influences, even if you're not hearing them. And in that case, you know, never listen to anyone's nonsense. And if I listened to people saying that I shouldn't do what I plan to do, I wouldn't have gone anywhere in life. And, you know, whatever. Like, traveling is what I mean. You know, like, do what you want. And don't listen to other people, because they don't understand what you're planning anyway. That's a point, is that, like, people, they don't understand what your vision is. And you don't have to, that's not for you to care about. They don't understand. Stick to your own vision. Do what you want. And Cancerians are good at doing that. You can be laser focused on going after what you want. So go after what you want. To hell to the other people. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't need to listen to anyone's advice. Do what you want. Do what you want. Stand your ground. Fight your corner. Yeah. Take a holiday if you want. But continue to build what you're building, because good for you. No. Oh, okay. So you are having a hard time. Like, there's, oh, interesting. There's a bit of boredom, bit of meh energy. Man, that energy is just around at the moment. I don't mean to say that to diminish how you're feeling, but the energies are intense at the moment. And with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, it's a very, like, Mercury, first of all, hates being in Scorpio because it's an air, and it wants to move fast and run around and laugh and chat to people. It's got no interest in its feelings. And Scorpio is the deepest diving of the water signs. So what I've noticed in people is people's thoughts are spiraling. And their thoughts are spiraling dark and fast, you know? And, like, there is an energy as well of what's going on. You know what I mean? What's going on? I feel everyone's under pressure at the moment. And the astrology, like, I'm not trying to, like, scare people. I don't believe in fear-mongering anyway. For whatever reason we're learning these lessons, we are learning these lessons. Our souls are learning. It's all good. But it's heavy at the moment and there is sorrow around the place. You know what I mean? But these two cards are kind of saying as well, like, yes, you feel sad. And yes, you feel a bit like, you know, come on, is life not supposed to be a bit more interesting than this? Like, it is, but you need to kind of turn it around a bit as well. You know what I mean? Like, this guy has spilled his 3 cups, he's got 5 cups, but he spilled 3 of them. If he would just turn around, he'd see that there's 2 full here, but if he stopped being so self-involved in his own sorrow, he'd also see that there's someone drowning that he could help. You know, he'd feel better if he helped someone drowning. Help someone, save someone from drowning. And so, like, the thing is, a change of perspective is needed here because this is very emotional. This is 4 and the 5 of cups, so it's very emotional energy. So there's not an awful lot of logic going on here. So it's all well and good to feel sorry for ourselves and to wallow for a little bit, but it has to be a little bit. You have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get on with it because no one else is doing it for you. And, like, not only is no one else doing it for you, I don't know, I think that's one of the, like, points of life is to learn to do it for ourselves. And you have to kickstart your own healing. You have to kickstart your own inspiration, you know, which is much easier said than done, but you gotta do it. And the fact is, like, if you're feeling attacked by people as well, of course you feel a bit fed up and, you know, and there's a bit of kind of sorrow around the whole thing and you're a bit like, you know, what's the point of this energy? Like, I don't know what the point of it is. I can't answer that. But I can tell you that you need to learn, we all need, everyone, all people need to learn to override their emotions at times. Like, we can't allow our emotions to take over. And you can't always trust your emotions. You know, can't always, you know, we just can't always trust ourselves. There are times, and like this card as well, this is a card of boredom. And of feeling meh with everything, meh with life, meh with blah, meh with this, meh with that. But you see, if we allow ourselves to wallow in this kind of, you know, sure, I don't care anyway energy, it leads us to feeling isolated and much more sad, you know? And you may be feeling attacked by people, but then you might need to take a little holiday, go to a little bit of water, take a couple of days off. There's a lot of water here. Take a couple of days off, but try not to get stuck in self-pity. Don't get stuck in self-pity. If you really, really, really want to go drown in your self-pity, like, dive in, you know what I mean? And sit in it and feel so sorry for yourself and have a cry and write it all out and think, you know, this is so sad, what's going on? And then get over it. Like, get up, get on with it, because you have to. Like, think as well, there's an end of a cycle in store for you guys. Whatever it is you're building, that's the thing, whatever it is you're building, you know, I think you're a bit sick of it now. It's just all a bit boring and all a bit like blah, and you're kind of like, oh God, will this ever end? It's taking longer than you want for this new chapter to begin, but the new chapter is coming. But the more we sink into our emotions and the more we feel sorry for ourselves, like, the less energy we're putting into the future, you know, and the less energy, because we're using up our energy feeling sorry for ourselves. We have to use our energy feeling positive. We have to use our energy, we have to use our energy to invest in ourselves for our own future. I don't have it yet, but I'm going to. This is going to be my vision board, and it's coming. Hopefully it'll be up by next month. But this is going to be my vision board, and maybe I'll send some Reiki at it every now and again. Maybe I'll ask other people to send Reiki at it every now and again. Like, I don't know, but we need to invest in ourselves for the future, and that's what's happening here. And the reason I'm saying it's the end of cycle is because 4 and 5 add up to 9, and 9 in numerology is the end of cycle. So I think you want to close something off. You're a bit fed up that it hasn't closed off yet, and it's making you feel a bit heavy-hearted. You know, wallow in it, but get out of it. And because this is such a young energy, two of Pentacles, like invest in what it is that you're planning, because what you're planning is going to bring you much more interesting times, maybe a bit of travel, bit of excitement, bit of like you might have to learn something new, like it could be a really interesting time. But first of all, you have to close this cycle. It's just the way it goes. We have become, humans I think are very impatient. We're all the same. We're all very impatient and we all want what we want now. And you're like, yeah, but I did a bit of work. Like now I want a load of recognition for that work. And you're like, yeah, but you have to wait. Like, you know, you have to wait and not get too stuck in the sadness. You know, and if you're feeling alone and if you're feeling like nobody has your back, you know, I just want to say that I doubt that's right. I doubt that nobody has your back. You know, there are many people out there who love you, and maybe you need to go, maybe that's where you need to go, to those people for a little break and hang out with people who do love you, you know. You can always ask Archangel Michael for protection. Call Archangel Michael in 3 times and just ask him to wrap his, I did that earlier because it felt a bit tense out there. Pluto and Mars are square at the moment, so like anger, transformation, ball of fire, like there is a lot of aggro on the street at the moment. And I didn't like one thing so that I was walking past, so I asked for Archangel Michael to surround me in his protective light. I asked for, please surround me in your violet protective light, and then I said, and I'll take your blue protective light please, and some white universal light, and some golden heavenly light. A whole lot of light. I wasn't expecting myself to ask for all of those, I have to say, but as I could feel them around me, then I felt so safe and like protected. Don't know, safe isn't the word I'm looking for there, but I felt really just, yeah, calm, safe, protected. All of them, you know, I thought like, I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Whatever it is I'm scared of, there's no need to be. Yeah. Nothing wrong with a bit of prayer, guys. Prayer is amazing, especially if you feel sad. Okay. Might leave it there. I'm going to see if Tarot wants to give any more cards. Tarot, any advice for moving on? Any advice for changing things up? Any more advice for Cancer 2019? Cancer 2019. I feel like you've gotten Cancer 2019. Cancer 2019. Yeah, Cancer 2019. So, like, you know, whatever it is, the cycle that you're ending and this new thing that you're building, like work is what will feed your soul right now. You know, just getting stuck in. That's why you have to ignore what people are saying to you as well. Because people don't know anything, okay? Don't involve people in your business. This card is saying that, like, financial security can be yours. You have to do what you want. The kings rule society. You know what I mean? He's the King of Pentacles. He rules society. He rules physical resources. He rules money. He rules health. And he is a successful man. And he's saying, you know, bow down to nobody. Don't bow down to people. Don't listen to other people. I don't need to say that anymore. Don't listen to other people. Also, we got the Queen of Swords. But do the work. Like, he does work. He works hard. You know what I mean? You don't need to kill yourself, but do work. Don't let other people drag you down. Don't let your own emotions drag you down. Do the work. Queen of Swords. She cuts people out of her life. If you are having a hard time with people, you know, then maybe you really do need to consider changing. Because it's affecting your... like... it's affecting your ability to look after yourself. It's affecting your ability to prosper. And it's leaving you exhausted. You know, and the Queen of Swords doesn't accept that from people. Like, people who come along and try and rain all over her parade and, like, destroy what she's building and la la la. Like she won't have any of it. She is no nonsense. She's only logic. So if you piss her off, and if she realizes, which she does because she's very intelligent, that's you I'm talking about, if she realizes that you are against her and you're not working for her, she's like, you're not for me, you're against me, you're gone. She has zero interest in messing around, you know. I could say there's the chance of romance here because we got the king and the queen at the same time, but if it's new romance, it's not going to go anywhere. It's Mercury retrograde. Become invested if you want. It's going to be a waste of time. It'll last 2 weeks. It'll fizzle out. It's not going to go anywhere. If it's an ex coming back, because the Nine of Swords came back, which often happens in Mercury retrogrades. Remember, people are exes for a reason. Your ex is your ex. And I also don't see that working out. Sorry. But Nine of Swords, like, it's not a card of success, you know. It's a card of sleepless nights and worry and whatever. Like, the people who are causing you worry, get rid of them. You know. And I do feel like there's a lot of worry in this reading, actually. And there's no need, because you have exactly what you need. Like, and even if you're only starting something, if you have a new business venture and it's brand new, like, and you're not sure if it's going to work, it is going to work if you put the work in. And stop listening to other people and stop wallowing in your emotions. You know? But if it is romance, guys, anyway, you're not well suited because the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords aren't really a great match. They'd build something very successful, but they wouldn't make each other very happy. And it's not gonna work out. Right, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope this was a nice reading, and I hope my, you know, tough love isn't too tough. I don't see a point in beating around the bush. You know what I mean? Do the work, cut out the people who are full of crap, and trust yourselves as well. Like, this is the thing about this card. I feel like there's a serious lack of trust. Like, this energy feels really like you're breathing very high up in your chest and you don't really know what's going on and you don't really trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. Don't listen to people who are naysayers. Don't listen to them. Do not listen to them. And do what you want. You have the ability. You probably are already successful. And you have the ability to make whatever new project it is you're working on successful. You know, but you need to cut out the naysayers, cut out the crap. Don't listen to bullshit. Don't waste your time getting involved in something now. Mercury retrograde, till the 22nd of November, and even then there's the shadow period. Like, until the middle of December, it's not a time to start new romances. They're not gonna end well. Yeah. Be nice to yourselves, people. I know you feel a bit like empty or something. There's a sadness that I'm aware of. It even could be grief. Like, you might regret something. There could be grief there. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that could cause these feelings. But, you know, like, I think sometimes as well, the point of these feelings is we don't allow ourselves to feel them, so then they hang around for ages. Allow yourself to feel them. Sit down. Have a bawl, as in a cry. Have a weep. You know what I mean? Feel sorry for yourself. Wallow in it. Lie in a bath for like 3 hours. Why me? And then get over it. Get over it. She ain't wallowing in no bath. She probably does for, I'd say, Queen of Swords. You know, I can picture her giving herself maybe 2 hours of like, yeah, I feel bad. That hurt my feelings. Yeah. And then she'd be like, right, that's enough. I won't speak to that person. I won't have anything to do with that person again. Delete. Everything goes. No numbers, no social media. She's like, who? What? Hanging on to what? Nonsense. Get rid of it. Ain't worrying about that crap for any reason. Okay. You got this, Cancer. Get yourself a rose quartz. Give yourself some love. Get yourself any crystal. You don't have to get rose quartz. If you walk into a crystal shop and just see what appeals to you, buy it for yourself. And then carry it around in your left pocket. Okay. Cancer, I love you lots. I wish you the best. I hope you have a nice evening, a nice month. This is a monthly reading. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I'd say you might feel a bit kind of unsteady for most of the month, but you need to just I'm asking you to understand that you have what it takes. Queen of Pentacles, very solid energy, very solid human, very solid planner. You know, the abilities here, it just doesn't, you don't feel it at the moment. But what you're building has the, you know, potential to be very successful. Okay. Good evening. Love you lots. See you later. Oh, like, subscribe if you want, share it with people, private message it to people if you don't want to be the type of person who shares on social media. I don't mind. But, you know, I think these readings are helpful and I think they can help people. Okay. Bye guys.